Hello. This is weird. How do I start this? I'll be back. Dinosaur time. What's the deal with dinosaurs? Okay, so, this is weird, but basically, way back when, about 245 million years ago, the Triassic had just come to an end. No, the Triassic had just begun, and ended. The period before it ended with the Permian extinction event, Permian extinction event, which was caused by extreme climate change over about 200,000 years. That's speculative. Basically, everything died. It was the worst extinction event in Earth's history, but stuff survived. The only time I've ever seen stuff survive it, not that I was there, but you get the gist, was living underground, eating the roots of plants that were there. Yep. So then the Triassic didn't really have much dinosaurs in it until sort of moving into the late Triassic, which 223 million years ago, that was sort of when they became more like the dinosaurs we know. Dinosaurs mainly evolved from a type of creature called archosaurs, which, along with birds, crocodiles, most modern reptiles, which in the Triassic, and even a little bit of a Jurassic, they didn't diversify all that much, and mainly stayed as a few more basic groups of dinosaurs. Then, later, into the Triassic, they really diversified into heaps of different groups and different beasts, I guess. Conifers started really coming around in the Triassic and Jurassic. It was good time, warmer weather than it is now, maybe like, I think 30-degree average, but that's very just off my own head. I did find one dinosaur that I just saw while researching. It's called how the hell do you say this? Pronunciation. What's this called? I've got to watch a YouTube video to do it. Tenistropheus. So the Tenistropheus was this sea beast that... The only image I've seen of it is just it having a really, really long neck. Just like standing in front of a river. And it's really weird. So I just hate it so much. Like, why does it exist? Why did God think, yeah, this thing would be funny? I can see why you killed it off. Anyway. So, Tenistropheus, I hate it. It's terrible. There's also the Nothosaurus, which is similar, but I think it's a bit less weird. Anyway, the Triassic came to an end with the Triassic-Jurassic extinction event, which is very, very speculative from what I've seen in my, an hours of research. 1 hour, of all of the topic here. Basically, it was either a bunch of volcanoes or a space rock, a meteorite, which both are kind of weird, but eh. Anyway, most stuff died except the dinosaurs, so they had the perfect opportunity to become really good and take over the world, which is what they did in the Jurassic. The Jurassic was like double the time. It was doubly as long, I guess, as the Triassic. And that gave it, it was great. Everything's great. it had much more diversification, and it was really able to see the strength of these beasts growing. Dilophosaurus was an early Jurassic dinosaur, which I don't exactly know where it was found. I'll figure that out. But it was... God, I've just opened Google Maps. Great, well, no idea where it was found. Just open Wikipedia. I don't know. Arizona, of course it's bloody Arizona. Anyway, so it was top predator in the area, really good at being a dinosaur, I guess. Good enough. Anyway, the other dinosaur that is, I love it, I didn't really know much about it, but I'm gonna do the research now, is Drinker, which was found by some guy named Drinker. Its Wikipedia page has very few words. I'll read them out. Drinker, or the drinker, may refer to, and then it's not much. But I don't know if... Okay, well, small dinosaur from Northern America, about a meter, Edward Drinker Cope. That's who found it. Great. Well, that's everything about Drinker, basically. Oh, I know it was about 2 meters, actually. God. 157 million years ago. Fun. Its scientific name is just Drinker. That's really boring. Anyway, so Laurasia and Gondwana began to form sort of about this period in time. So they had split off and become these own separate two landmasses, but weren't breaking up into the continents that we now have yet. The temperature began to drop towards the end of the Jurassic, and there is no defined boundary between the end of the Jurassic and beginning of the Cretaceous, just because of how weird what happened was. But as the Cretaceous began, dinosaurs could get so much bigger. It was, I think it was warmer. Everything got big, I guess. I don't really know. It just got big. I'm just gonna skip over this because we'll get back to it later. But the Cretaceous ended. This is like mainly speculative, and then there's a part of truth. So a recent theory says that a massive... Okay, India is full of volcanoes, or at least it was. And these are called the Deccan Traps, which were for like, I don't exactly know, maybe like 1 million years, spewing out... let me actually look at this. Cretaceous. Was spewing out tons and tons of noxious gas for about like 300,000 years, which basically poisoned the Earth for a very long time. So the dinosaurs that were around were poisoned and sick because there was so much of noxious, terrible, bad gas in the air. Then they were already on a sick planet, and then they got hit by a really big rock, which its impact marked the end of the Cretaceous, and is known as the KT extinction event. Okay, so now we'll go on the environment, so like geography, whatever. So Pangaea, the last, I guess, supercontinent that involved most continents that are still on Earth, was very much still around in the Triassic, but began to break up in the early Jurassic to form Laurasia, which is the northern North America, Asia, Europe continent, and Gondwana, which is most of the southern hemisphere continents like South America, Africa, I think. Yeah, and Australia, Antarctica. Most of the, like, Antarctica is very recently a frozen continent, so for majority of Antarctica's existence, it was at a much higher latitude and was a lot warmer, covered in rainforest and stuff. There are still seeds. Actually, this is a bit of a side tangent, but I heard that some plant was found in ice, and it was like, I don't know, more than 1,000,000 years old, I think, I hope. Maybe, I don't know. A really old extinct plant was found, just as a seed, and they were able to bring it back or something. I'll fact check that. I'll write that down. Arctic plant seed from ice. But yeah. So Antarctica was a lush jungle place full of stuff. Antarctica is home to my favorite dinosaur, which I'll get to later. Anyway, by the Cretaceous period, Pangaea had completely broken up, and Laurasia and Gondwana had also started to break up. North America, Asia, Europe had broken apart. They were disconnected. While Antarctica and Australia were basically the only two that were still joined together, and they would be for a long time, which I'm not going to talk about because that isn't dinosaur time. It's what's this period called? I don't bloody know. What? What's it? Why is there nowhere it says it? Never mind. Well, it'll be there. So, North America is probably one of the most interesting places on Earth. Sort of in the Cretaceous, just about how weird it was. There's a lot of, like, really incredible places. These are very speculative, but massive deserts of gypsum, which is a very fine mineral, which completely dissolves in water, but there were huge deserts made out of it, just because of how dry it was in those places. Really just cool volcanic landscapes, whatever. It's all there. Imagine it. I don't know. But North America was really incredible because it had sort of split in half down. It just sort of split in half, I guess, and created the Western Interior Seaway, which really, like, compared to how deep most oceans are, it was not that deep. Really being very shallow, at its deepest only 700 meters, and it was just amazing, being so incredibly weird. Supported tons of life. Most beasts were there at that point. However, the Western Interior Seaway closed up, and everything died. I don't bloody know. But there's so much more stuff about North America. It's very, very cool. Like that whale skeleton they found in the middle of a field. But, yeah. Anyway, that's a side topic. Anyway, going to Australia, which I'm not really going to get into because this is Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic, so not my area outside of this. But Australia, for the majority of its time within the time period, was still connected to other continents, being Gondwana or just Antarctica. It was, in that time, it was shoved and really messed up, pushed around, broken up, and in the, I guess, towards the center of Australia, it was folded and bent so much. We learned about this on Cat, you should know this, that massive mountain ranges were able to form in sort of lines, so they were perpendicular, horizontal, no, I don't know, they were just sort of in lines, and the largest mountains that ever formed in Australia were the Petermann Ranges, which still exist today, but only as a range of, like, low hills. But at their height, they were like the Himalayas in Australia. They were gigantic, but really did not last long, just because of how much erosion was happening at the time. Around this time as well, a bunch of iron got into the dirt and then rusted, which gives Australia sort of a red dirt, which I don't know how many other places have it. Probably a lot, but that's why Australia's got it, which I guessed right on cap. Still happy about that. Anyway, moving to Europe, which is also really incredible because I love islands. Islands are really cool, and basically that's all that Europe was for, I guess, most of the Cretaceous. Triassic, Jurassic, it was Laurasia, so kind of hard to be islands like that. But once North America moved apart, it just got pushed down, I guess, and completely flooded it. It was just a bunch of islands. There's still signs of this all over Europe, and we'll get into that with one of the dinosaurs that was found in Europe, the Hatzegopteryx, which is a big bird-looking thing. Yeah, most of it was pretty cool. Anyway, I'm gonna get into some side tangents now. So, dinosaurs, they live basically all over the planet, like the far north, far south Arctic conditions, freezing cold. It was inhospitable, yet they managed to survive there. It's so cool to, it's just cool, you know. Anyway, I've got the photo of the one of the oldest dinosaurs. Oldest dinosaur statue. Yeah, Crystal Palace dinosaurs. So this guy found dinosaurs, and he was like, "Great, I've just found them. So let's make some statues." But he basically had no idea how these things worked. So he made these lizard-looking things, which they're very wrong, as I think this is an iguanodon, which doesn't have the nose thing. It has iguanodon. It's got like the thumb. Yeah, this they mistook this guy for the other guy. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Anyway, so just very cool. I gotta find out more to talk about. I'm running out. I have like another whole page, but I don't know how long it's gonna last. Okay, let me oh wow, there's another dinosaur TV show. Oh, it looks terrible. Anyway, so what's in the second thing? It's funny. But it's just very cool. Anyway, next topic, I guess. Okay, behavioral adaptations, I guess, is what this is. It's just called behavioral. Great. Welcome to the behavior section. Okay, so do you know how you need like levels of salt in your diet to keep your organs functioning? Because without salt, your organs will just sort of stop working, and your joints and whatever. I don't know how knowledgeable, like how much it's known about, because we just have like, most of our diet consists of enough salt, so we don't really need to eat. Like, you don't need to crack open your salt shaker and chug it, because you normally have enough salt in your diet. Maybe like adding salt to chips, I guess that'll be good, like salt and vinegar. Do salt and vinegar chips actually have salt? Do salt and vinegar have have salt in them? The science behind salt and vinegar chips. Okay, I gotta look at this. Yeah, okay, it does actually contain salt. Anyway, so these dinosaurs, however, couldn't get a hell of a lot of salt, as herbivores, they couldn't go out and get some seafood, which would have salt in it. So stuff they could do is find, this is just some stuff I saw, but groups of duck-billed dinosaurs, so hadrosaurs, would be in deserts, I don't know, big Juni desert, and as really hot wind, like deserts, hit the ocean, it tends to create masses of fog, which not only is that water, but it's salty fog. So that's like, you can just lick it off the skin, and you get salty water, so that's a source of salt for deserts. But also like salt crystals, or licking water from sea spray, just need a lot of salt. Something really similar I've seen to this is Triceratops in TV show. A lot of this has come from, or part of this I guess, would eat basically toxic berries and plants, but to survive it would I don't know how long they would do this, but go down into caves or banks of rivers and collect special types of clay, and they would just eat this, which would coat their stomachs to make them basically immune to this toxin, which is called clay licking, which is actually a real modern thing where birds do, I think in the Amazon. Let's pull this up. And they break it up, swallow it down, and they can eat all the poison. Don't do that. Anyway, clay licking, salt licking, very cool, and both things for, like, I guess, diet. Great. Anyway, so waterholes and rivers. I went to a river in the last, like, I don't know, a few weeks, on the holidays, I think, and I just walked up and down it, and seeing how much life was around it is really interesting, and it sort of like, it gives you a grasp how important they are. Like, you know they're important, but how really, really valuable they are to life around it. Like, I just walked along it a few times. I barely saw any actual creatures, but I could just hear them. I was wandering, kangaroos about, lizards, I guess lizarding, and it's just this really valuable source of water, especially in inland Australia, and approaching summer. Great. Anyway, they're really, really valuable, but moving on to waterholes, and how they sort of function. So, water can travel underground and recollect on the surface, just at places, I guess. And especially in really dry climates, like imagine, I guess, Alice Springs. Hate Alice Springs. Anyway, just a lake forms there. Basically, they can probably smell water or something. I don't bloody know. But they know the water's there, so they go and get it. Might not last long because a bunch of hungry, thirsty dinosaurs drinking, sipping water. So, just gone in not very long. But, this is another thing I've seen in a few places. Like the TV show I'm watching, Prehistoric Planet, just David Attenborough, pretty good. We'll get back to that later. But, then also in Jurassic World's Camp Cretaceous series, which isn't that good, I guess. It's okay. I don't mind it. But, there's scenes where at a waterhole or a river or something, just drinking up water, there will be carnivores coming up and just also drinking water. It's just like a chill gathering spot, I guess, just where you can hang out with the boys, have a nice cold drink, I guess. But the best part about the Prehistoric Planet representation of it was just all of the herbivores just backing off around this carnivore, this one lone Tarbosaurus standing in a desert around like 200 herbivores just all avoiding him. And it was just pretty chill. Anyway, speaking of Tarbosaur, which is a big heavy carnivore relative to T-Rex, I guess. Territory. Most birds dogs, most animals today have some form of territory. Basically everything does. So, having territory, like, you fight over territory, I guess. Yeah, like dogs yapping at other dogs, stay out, I guess. Something. I don't know. Like, cats also have territory, I guess. Lions, hyenas. Yeah, that's all the stuff. They have territory and fight over that territory. But the thing is, like, the main thing I saw about the territory fight in the show was a underwater mosasaur, I think it was called like Herman's mosasaur or something, just hanging out on a reef, like right before a cliff drop off, and this other mosasaur just fighting him. Very, very cool. Imagine two mosasaurs going at it. And they just fight for a bit, and then one of them, I think, dies in the end, which, I don't know, it kinda, you might just let him go. It kinda depends how much you're willing to bet on your territory. Anyway, territory is awesome, and I want my own territory. I just want to, like, invade my neighbor's house and just make it mine. Like, why can't we do that? Like, why can't I just get, like, a baseball bat, run over to my neighbor's house, hit him, and say, get out, I own this now, and just take his stuff? Like, why aren't we allowed to do that? And then police are gonna show up and seize my house? I gotta be better than the police. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Next topic, mating, which is really what I've been looking forward to. Anyway, so, a lot of, like, birds still have, I guess, mating dances. A lot of things do stuff to be attractive, looking colourful or whatever. I guess some some creatures fight over it. But it's a really weird thing. So, battling. Oh, yeah, where is it? It's in Adaptations. Okay, I'm gonna move one thing I had from another section to here, just because it fits, and I think it'd be interesting. Okay, so, I was watching the Prehistoric Planet, and so imagine the Grand Canyon, and like a big plateau in the middle of it, just completely disconnected. Really isolated, very difficult for anything that cannot fly to get to. So it's where tons and tons of pterosaurs gather. And it's where they tend to mate and lay eggs, whatever. So all of these pterosaurs, like heaps of females, are just sitting on this plateau, and a few really big, spooky males are around just trying to impress them. Tons of other males flying over to wait until a spot opens up to fly down and get their time on. But this is what I find interesting. A few males evolve or grow very differently. To instead of being really massive and intimidating with a massive head crest, they're just really small and basically look exactly like the females, but just different colour. So basically they're femboys. Femboy dinosaurs. Great. Anyway, I was on this plateau. I saw the femboy dinosaur trying to riz some people up. Then another male was like, "I see you. I'm gonna get you." He goes over, but then he actually likes the femboy dinosaur. He's a gay dinosaur. Is it gay? Shouldn't be. This isn't a topic for this. But femboy dinosaurs, great. Anyway, we have tons more stuff in this section. So, injuries. Injuries are a weird thing because, like, just some stuff. Injuries are really bad. Like, if you get a massive gash on your leg, you're basically gonna die if you're alone without medical attention. But it's possible to survive if you're with a group, I guess. So it's really hard to deal with them. I don't know if this is remembered, but on camp, Central Australia, we heard about, I think this was a guy, I don't know how long ago this was, maybe shortly after Lilla became a thing, was this guy up on Kings Canyon, hunting a kangaroo. He speared the kangaroo, but the kangaroo kicked him off the edge of the cliff. So him and the kangaroo hit the ground. He breaks, I think it's either both of his legs or just one of them. But he's on the ground with a kangaroo and a spear. So he's in immeasurable pain. We'd probably pass out from sort of pain of breaking both of your legs after falling. I don't know how high Kings Canyon is, but pretty high. But he basically snaps the spears, uses them as a splint and ties them together with kangaroo ligament, and walks like 10 Ks just to try and survive. He doesn't, I don't know if he passes out at all, but he walks 10 Ks all the way back and then gets medical attention after that, which is phenomenal. And being just some bloke, being able to do this, still, being someone who's lived their whole life in the wilds, I guess, be more adapted to it, but dinosaurs and whatnot that would have to fully deal with this stuff, fighting, getting cuts, injured, scars, would be a lot tougher than your average bloke. I guess he wasn't an average bloke, but still. Cleaning injuries and just trying to rest up would be big help. So you basically need to have other people there, or other dinosaurs there, of your species, to give you that level of protection, or you may just die. Anyway, speaking of dying, more about, I don't know why I didn't put this in the mating section. Anyway, okay, going back to the mating section. Carnotaurus. This massive, big dinosaur, tiny little arms. Its name means meat-eating bull. Really cool. In Prehistoric Planet, the question is posed, why does it have these arms? So, an idea is, it uses them as a mating display. So it's got a ball and socket joint like human arms, and then inside of its arms are just blue. And it spins its arms around and does its mating dance. And that's what it does. But it also cleared a pretty large area in a forest, massive trees around. It just clears an entire area just as a stage, basically. It's very, very weird. Anyway, more about fighting, I guess. We're going back to the plateau. Bring back the plateau with all the females on the plateau and the males flying above and whatever. The femboid dinosaurs. Pterosaurs fighting is so cool. It's so incredibly cool. Because, have you ever seen, I don't know what sort of birds are around. Magpies, ravens, noisy miners, whatever. Fly around, and then they fight midair and swooping, trying to avoid each other, and it's so cool. It's awesome. Really cool. It's just great. It's the best. Dinosaurs, birds fighting. Friggin' awesome. Awesome. Great. Anyway, now we're getting to the smarts section. So, do you know how birds are pretty smart? Cockatoos can mimic human speech. Magpies can do cool stuff. Ravens, smart, they can spread fires and just get more food. It's very, very, very smart. It's kind of hard to explain how smart birds are, but they're really intelligent once you give them a chance. But dinosaurs had basically the same brains, I guess. Magpies have a pretty small brain. Imagine a bigger dinosaur with a bigger brain, with as much smarts. How good would that be? So, I know some birds spread fires, and there is called reference to this in Prehistoric Planet, where some, I think it's a dromaeosaur. I think. Don't quote me on that. But is using a lightning bolt. So a lightning bolt strikes a tree, lights a fire. This dromaeosaur's great. So he picks up a bunch of sticks and whatnot, and just carries them around, setting everything on fire. Because he knows, he's like, everyone's gonna try and leave because it's on fire. But I'm not. I'm gonna kill everyone and cook them, and I'll have a lovely cooked steak for dinner. Triceratops steak, like, it's really, really smart. And that's what modern birds do as well, like, it's really incredible. Anyway, okay, we're going to do more fighting. Jesus Christ, how much fighting have I gotten here? Dinosaurs. Anyway, so, pack hunting. This is all about strategy, so, like, velociraptors... Okay, we're gonna go do more pterosaur. Okay, anyway, so, pterosaurs, what are they doing? Yeah, so, they're gathering on these cliffs. Imagine the Grand Canyon game, but no more plateau. Someone got rid of it. So, what's it called? So the pterosaurs are just all on the cliffs, hanging out, vibing, and doing whatever. But these velociraptors are climbing down the cliffs sneakily. They have big tails, feathers, whatever. So they can fall slowly. They have Minecraft slow fall. They effectively have at a slow falling. Great. They can land on the cliffs and just hunt these pterosaurs. And being in packs, they can really try and... it's great. It's great stuff. Anyway, it's snowing time. So, pachyrhinosaurs are like... Imagine like a triceratops, but instead of 3 horns, they just have really big noses. That's basically what they are. So they're cool. But they're a type of dinosaur which I think is found in really freezing conditions. Cold conditions. So they would have hung around, but then these smaller T-Rex relatives called Nanooksaurs, I think that's the pronunciation, that's how it's said on the show. Anyway, they would also be around, hunting in like, I don't know, packs of 3 or 4, maybe even 2, would just constantly be testing their defenses, force them into like circles so they're defending all angles, and these Nanooksaurs would just come at them, trying to see a weak spot. Eventually, like, confrontations can last for days, but eventually they might just bolt because it's not really much they can do, or anxiety got the better of them, but they would be leaving. So these Nanooksaurs would just bolt after them and take out basically any stragglers. As being in the snow, there's barely any food. Like, imagine you open up Minecraft, just go into a snow biome. There's no cows, there's no chickens, no sheep. It's cold, and there's nothing there. It's basically what it is, and the snow is real life. So, yeah. Species! All the species. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 8 species I'm gonna talk about. T-Rex isn't on that, so don't get your hopes up. Velociraptors. We spoke of them just a minute ago. So, already said, so they... First we'll talk about their, I guess, appearance in Prehistoric Planet. They got these big, thick, feathery tails, which allows them to sort of control their descent a lot more. I guess sort of similar to how birds use tails to, I guess, more as a rudder to control flying as well as their wings. Kind of similar to Velociraptors, but they can't fly because they're like the size of a turkey, and they don't really have wings. They have arms. But yeah, big, cool, feathery things, so they can fall slower, control their descent using wings across their feathers. Jesus, using feathers all across their body and their arms and whatever. They're really cool. Oh, something else I should add. Oh, there we go. I've added it to the list. Okay, so in media, so like Jurassic Park, mostly Jurassic Park started this. Velociraptors being 6-foot, massive, scaly lizards with cat eyes, like the horizontal pupil. These featherless, weird beast And also, if you notice their hands, they're doing like the Emperor Palpatine hands that go down. That's wrong. They physically cannot do that. They don't have hands like humans. Their hands have to be out, like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. They can't have their hands down, they have to have them out. I don't know. Anyway, Velociraptors, very cool. I guess I should also mention this. What do you think dinosaur eyes would be like? Because, like, have you ever looked at a sheep really closely and their pupils are horizontal, like rectangles, and you're just like, why? What's the point? Basically, it's so they have a wider field of view than it is tall. So if you jump on a sheep from above, like if you're a skydiver and you fall on a sheep, it won't even know you're there. But if you're standing like completely to the side, it will be able to see you, basically. So like cats have vertical, they can see up and down, quick reflexes, whatever. Cats are cool. Humans, however, circular, so they can basically see all around whatever direction their head is facing. Great. Anyway, the heavy claw lizard, I think that's what baryonyx means. Baryonyx meaning. Yeah, heavy claw lizard. Great. Baryonyx is a species of Spinosaurid, so the beast with the sail from Jurassic Park 3, that thing. Even though that's wrong. We'll get to that later. So Baryonyx is a... I don't know if it lived at the same time, maybe a little bit before, but they're not that, like, they're not like Baryonyx evolved into Spino. It's completely different. So, found, I believe, in southern England, or at least sort of that area of Europe. They're a lot more of a land-based beast. They have, as in the name, heavy claws. They still have like the Spinosaurid jaws, so they snap down on fish like a crocodile. Big hands, big feet, big fella. You know what they say? Big hands, big feet, big fella. Anyway, well, we might as well just go to Spino, because we're kind of on a roll with Spinosaurids. Okay, so, Spinosaurus aegypticus. Initially found either in the really early 1900s or the very late 1800s. It was first found by, I can't remember, Ernst Stromer, I think, that's just off the top of my head. But Stromer found this like fragmented remains of bones and took it back to his home in, I think it was Berlin. Being in the early 1900s, you can tell this isn't good. He made some sketches, and these are all that survive, because Stromer fully, like, he depicted the Spinosaurus aegypticus, as he first named it, as basically a really early T-Rex, but just with a sail on its back. Great. Anyway, so I think it was in the Second World War. It was no, First World War, I think. Yeah, First World War. It was bombed and gone. Nope, Second World War. Second World War, the Spinosaurus aegypticus, all fossils of it known, gone. Deleted. In just a night. So, that sucks. He also lost his 2 sons. Isn't this important? Anyway, so, after years and years and years, I don't know if this is before Jurassic Park 3, during Jurassic Park 3, or after, but Jurassic Park 3 brought back the Spinosaurus as more of a slimmer T-Rex, crocodile snout, big old sail, land predator, big terrifying monster. Very, very wrong. But I don't know if it was around this time. I think it was around 2000s. So this guy said, I love Spinosaurus. I'm gonna go out and go find some. So he did just that. He went out to the Sahara Desert, and after searching and doing tons of work, he managed to track down a fossil guy. Like, fossils are always traded out of like Morocco and places illegally, because they're really good. So you can sell them off to private collectors, it's great. But this guy, after weeks of trying to find this guy, just stumbled across him and was like, hey mate, I won't tell anyone what you've done about illegally trading fossils if you take me to where you found this other fossil, which I got from another guy. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. So we took him out to this random place, and he was like, great, here it is, okay, I'm out. So that guy left. But when they were digging, they found heaps more Spinosaurus bones for the first time in like 100 years. And it was incredible. And after tons more digs, they managed to basically recreate almost like half a skeleton Spino for the first time ever. And they were like, what the hell is this thing? They had like basic ideas of what it was from like other Spinosaurids they'd found. But Spinosaurus was the weirdest thing, like, actually, it's so bloody weird. And after, like, Spinosaurus has basically become, I guess it was one of the most loved dinosaurs. But these new articles about it are making it one of the most hated, because it's so weird. It's got a big, flat fish tail. It can barely stand on its back legs without falling on its face. It's so weird, but I love it. It's great. There's tons of other Spinosaurids really similar to it. There's, I don't know, a few. But then, I don't know if they're the same species. It's kind of up for debate whether they're the same. Anyway, we are going to go to my favourite dinosaur, Antarctopelta. I think it was either the first or one of the first dinosaurs ever discovered in Antarctica. Don't know how they found it, it's covered in ice. But they found it. It's awesome, it's a little like, I think it's an ankylosaur or a nodosaurid. I'm just gonna fact check that. Okay, its name means Antarctic shield, that's great. Yeah, it's an ankylosaur. So, really cute little fella. Very cool. Big tails, spiky backs, I guess. I love them so much. Their prehistoric planet appearance, they're so cute. Oh. Anyway, how big are they? I don't bloody know. It doesn't say how big. How big are they? Okay, 4 meters in length. Okay, well, that ain't that bad. Anyway. Uh-oh. Anyway, the species name is Antarctopelta Oliver Oi. It's weird. Anyway, so, this is a really, really interesting one. Sauropods. Now, sauropods are like Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, these massive, really tall, giraffe-looking things. Awesome, incredible dinosaurs. They are basically some of the largest land animals on the planet. If they are the largest, is currently very under debate. Because, I don't know, it's an ancient species of rhinoceros, which was long after the dinosaurs, but they are gigantic. These huge beasts looking giraffe-like things, but really like thick giraffes. Some people are like, hey, these guys can actually get way bigger than like the largest sauropod. But that's very under debate, so we'll see what happens there. Anyway, sauropods, gigantic. There's tons of species. So, North America, sauropods everywhere. They're gone. No one knows why. Sauropod hiatus, that is what it's called. They disappeared from North America for years. Like millions of years, no one knows why. But then they came back. The titanosaurs, a subspecies, or I don't know if it's a subgroup, it's a whole other genus I think, of these huge sauropods, which just, yeah, so titanosaurs, this whole other family appeared as the largest dinosaurs to ever walk the earth. It's awesome and really cool. Anyway, moving on. Tarbosaurus. This is a good one. They just look cool. I like them. In Prehistoric Planet, they're characterized really well. Anyway, Dinochirus. Dinochirus is I think it's a therizinosaur, maybe? But it is so weird. It's a fishy swamp furry bird. They have big fingers. They live in a swamp. I don't know. Let's Google it. Anyway, this is probably this is the largest dinosaur I think can ever. This is one of two. If not this one, it's the other one. But it is probably the largest creature to ever fly, the Hatzegopteryx. Now, it's very disputed whether Hatzegopteryx or Quetzalcoatlus is the largest flying creature. I'm saying it's Hatzegopteryx for a few kind of speculative reasons, just because it's probably bigger, like, it's heavier, and it looks cooler. So, Hatzegopteryx is... So, it was initially found on this... I don't know if it's a place in Germany called Hatzeg something. And they thought, great, we found a new theropod. Because it's so big, they thought it was a land dinosaur. But after fully examining it, they were like, this thing was made to fly. What the Sigma? So, they named it Hatzegopteryx after, I think, it was only fully identified in the last maybe 50 years. It's like, pretty recent, I think. Don't quote me on that. But, this massive beast, it's incredible. It's so cool to have this massive creature. It's awesome. My jaw hurts from talking. Anyway, adaptations / speculative stuff. Size. Now, dinosaur size is so weird to get right, because, like, crocodiles. Okay, you got a crocodile, it's standard little fella. But then you go out into your ancient back garden and you see a crocodile twice that size. You could do it again and find another bigger one. It's like, crocodiles can get absolutely gigantic. Same with, like, deals with snakes and lizards and whatnot. This is very highly speculated to be the same for dinosaurs. Like, the chances of finding, like, fossils of these massive creatures is really low, because they're not that common. But it's speculated that most dinosaurs could and would be much bigger. Like, your average crocodile versus the largest crocodile, bit of a difference there. So, yeah, it's probably going to be bigger, but we're not going to basically ever know that they're actually that big. Anyway, lips. You got them. Who loves them? Put your hands up. I don't know. Anyway, if you go and... I don't know, go find a lizard. If you go out now and find a lizard and send me a photo of the lizard, I don't know, I don't really care, but I'll be impressed, I guess. Anyway, so, most reptiles in the modern day have lips. This is, like... Most animals have lips, but most reptiles cannot control them or articulate them like humans can. The reasons, like, crocodiles and fishy lizards don't have lips is because they're always wet. So if you think Spinosaurus is ruined, don't be. It doesn't have lips. Meanwhile, stuff like T-Rex probably does have lips. So, it's a lippy fella. They won't be able to control them like humans and stuff can, but still, most dinosaurs probably had lips. Anyway, we're moving on to lifespan. So, great, everyone loves a good lifespan. Dinosaur babies are pretty cute. Anyway, how long did a dinosaur live? Because it's speculated they could live, like... Some maybe could live 100 years, some could live 2. Like, it's very speculative. Like, it's same with, like, crocodiles. Most crocodiles that were really old were killed off in the last 200 years. So we'll basically not really know how old crocodiles can get in the wild, because of a lot of them were killed off. but they can get old. Dinosaurs are probably about the same, but dinosaurs probably had a bit more of a rough and tough life than most crocodiles, because crocodiles, basically you can sit in a lake your whole life, sit around for a week, get a meal, sit around for a month, get a meal, and just repeat that. Because they don't do that much. While dinosaurs, imagine you're a T-Rex, your biggest beast ever, you're hungry. The only thing that's around, Triceratops. God damn it. They're T-Rex killers. These don't run them unless you have your friends with you. But probably don't have very many friends because you're a T-Rex. Anyway, death. We're all gonna do it. And they did too. So, most dinosaurs have died. I can see some out the window at the minute. Actually, no, I can't. Can I see one? Yeah, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Yeah, they're just sitting there. So, the dinosaurs will die, and what's like, this is just a question I have. What happens when they die? Because obviously it's going to be like Circle of Life. First, big scavengers or whatever killed it will just go and tear it apart, like lions kill a gazelle. They'll take what they need, and then maybe hyenas or vultures will pick the bones apart. So they'll, like, hyenas can eat bones, vultures I think can. So the chances are there may not be bones really around. So it's kind of weird. I gotta write some stuff down. Let me. Great. Okay, I'll remember that later. So, where are we up to? Yeah. So, dying. Anyway, next, Tyrannosaurus rexes. Can they swim? Probably. So do you know how, like, birds, because they have to fly, they typically have hollow bones, or at least, like, pretty hollow bones, like bone marrow and stuff isn't there, but they typically are a lot lighter. This is thought to be roughly the same with tyrannosaurs, as it's also thought that they can swim. Like, they can't fly, they don't have wings, don't think that. But tyrannosaurs, like, it's depicted in Prehistoric Planet, probably weren't the worst swimmers. They probably were pretty good at it. Anyway, big pterosaurs. We've already talked about Hatzegopteryx, so we'll talk about our other favourite Azhdarchid, Quetzalcoatlus. Azhdarchids are big pterosaurs. Quetzalcoatlus. It's named after an Aztec god. I think it was either the god of birds or something, I don't know. Massive. Big. Like, they are. It's one of those two, Hatzegopteryx or Quetzalcoatlus, that it is the largest creature to ever fly without a plane. Like, incredible. Anyway, I'm bored of pterosaurs. Clanking. This is something I've always loved. Clanking's great. So, you have, like, you've got a beak. Imagine you've got, like, a big beak. You can, like, clack it shut. Hang on, I'll give you an example. Like, imagine being able to do that by just closing your mouth really hard, because you have a big, like, echoey chamber around your nose, I guess. A lot of dinosaurs probably could, probably ones with beaks or something similar to a beak could, while I doubt a lot could, like Velociraptors, T-Rexes couldn't, probably, because they don't have beaks. Anyway, there is another type of bird which can clank, or could. It's dead now. So these are called terrorbirds. They were really big, I think, basically all over the world before big cats, like lions, tigers, stuff, before they came around, were terrorbirds, or thunderbirds, depending on where you are in the world, are these massive, gigantic birds. They are taller than most people. There's tons of species of them. I can do a podcast. I don't know if this is I can do an Oliver cast on terror birds if is wanted, but anyway, so terror birds could clank. Yeah, and I wish I could do that. I wish I could just walk up to Bro and just clank at him, and he'd just know. Anyway, speaking of clanking, what the hell did dinosaurs sound like? This is like probably one of the most speculated things, because like Jurassic Park shows them as these big roaring lizards. However, it's highly likely that they didn't. We'll go over some other examples of them making sounds. So, I don't know, maybe like a year or two ago, there was a bunch of videos of like T-Rex sounds have been proven to exist. I mean, it's like, I got moisturizer on my balls, but the actual original videos are of, I guess, what dinosaurs could have sounded like, made by a independent YouTuber. A lot of people thought it was from a science place, but it wasn't. It was just some guy in his shed or whatever. I've seen them and they're okay. They're a bit weird, which is possible. Very possible that they could sound like that, but also not. If you hear like a lizard or a crocodile or like even a bird, they have like, it's very different to how we depict dinosaurs. And how much I can like change sound is not going to change all that much, especially saying that it doesn't have human levels of speech after a million years. Like, So, dinosaurs probably made sort of hissing sounds and bird sounds, I guess. Depends on the dinosaur. But one of the dinosaurs we do know what sound it roughly made was the Parasaurolophus. It was the duck-billed dinosaur. So when I've blanked on what it's called. Duck-billed dinosaur. These massive head crests, which go back, I think, like a meter or two. They're huge, awesome, incredible. And recreations of these have been made and tested, and I think I've showed this to people around, that it's probably roughly what sound they can make. It's like pretty accurate, that we'll probably only ever hear this one dinosaur. Like, hear that one. Speaking of dinosaurs that we know a lot about, apart from Parasaurolophus, is the Borelopelta. Borelopelta. It's Borelopelta. Sure, we'll go with that. It is the most known dinosaur. We have, I don't know how many specimens of it, but one specimen was found so intact, it's incredible. And we managed to get pigments off it. We know what color it was, we know how it was built, we know what it ate. It is incredible how much we know about this one specimen from just one specimen. Yeah. How much we know about the species from one specimen, that's why. It's really interesting. I'm gonna rant now, and then I'm gonna get into this show that I got all media, I guess. So, question 1. Could I fight a dinosaur? Probably not, but depends on the dinosaur. If it was like a velociraptor, nope. Just because it's as big as a turkey, I'm cooked. A pterosaur? Maybe. Depends on the pterosaur. Like, if you gave me a baseball bat and told me to beat an emu, I've read WikiHow. I know how to beat an emu. Is it an emu? Beat an ostrich, that's the one. I know how to beat an ostrich. I read WikiHow. So it's possible you could beat some dinosaurs with, like, certain stuff. Like, I have a pole in my room. I could, if you gave me, like, a small dinosaur, I probably could. But a velociraptor, I probably couldn't. Just because they're nimble little things. Probably not gonna beat them. Probably not. However, if like, what sort of dinosaur could it be? Okay, well, you might say like, oh, okay, well, like a duck-billed dinosaur, they're always shown in media as being pretty weak. No, they're so strong. No, you couldn't beat them. They're so massively strong. I don't know why they're always killed so easily. They're so strong. It's insane. Anyway, depends on the dinosaur, but maybe I could beat it. If I had a car, I could probably beat a velociraptor. If I had to fight a Dilophosaurus and all I had was a car and a can of Barbasol, I would indeed be cooked. So was Dennis. Anyway, next topic. Pterosaurs or pterodactyls? This is something I'm very passionate about. So, the term pterodactyl, I don't know entirely when it was used, but it was used in the 1800s. No, it was used in the 1700s, Jesus Christ. Dinosaurs got found, and they found first pterosaurs, and were like, wow, this is a pterodactyl, great. But some science people gathered, and were like, guys, the name is so stupid, it's a bad name, guys, we can't call it that, what are we gonna call it? Like, we got these dinosaurs, but we'd have these pterodactyls, so what do we call them? And, like, John at the other side of the table was like, okay, well, why don't we just put them together, like, I don't know, pterosaur? And then Batman came and was like, guys, what if we call it pterosaur? And then it was like, oh my god, you're the best, Batman! Lego movie reference. So, up since 1809, they've been pterosaurs. And those people, like, if it's, I don't know, if you're taught in school or on a stupid documentary kids TV show, pterosaurs. Never pterodactyls. Not since 1809, before we had, I don't know, moving images. Don't. Pterosaurs, please. Please! Anyway, next topic. Fights to the death. In most media, two animals see each other to fight to the death. That scene in Jurassic Park 3 where the T-Rex is just having out and chow down on some beast. The Spino comes over and they just kill each other. It's like, why? There's no reason to do. Why? If I see the local bully, like if I see Will Macaca down at the street, and I'm like, oh god, it's Will Macaca, I'm in his territory, he's not gonna run over to me and snap my neck. He'll probably just like, bro, get out of here. This isn't your land. He might like punch me in the face. Like, but I doubt he's gonna kill me. So I just leave. Like, it's a monster trope. It's like, you need a monster to be big and bad. But, it's stupid how they do the monster tropes. Like, stop it. Will Macaca wouldn't kill me. Maybe. I hope he wouldn't. Dinosaurs in the media and Prehistoric Planet, the TV show that some of this is from. Okay, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park did a real lot for dinosaurs. Before it, dinosaurs were these swampish beasts. It's kind of hard to describe how bad they were, but it's like, have you ever seen the really old clips of like two cavemen, not typically a caveman and a cavewoman, just like hiding as a stop motion animation of a T-Rex standing like a human does upright, fighting like a Triceratops? It's like that versus the modern like fights between these animals. So basically, Jurassic Park, the novel written by Michael Crichton, really like did a lot of stuff, but it wasn't as known about until it got made into a movie where it fully changed dinosaur representation. T-Rex was no longer standing like a person, it was down flat like it had been in science but not in media for years. Just so much, like bringing the theory about dinosaurs evolving into birds and so much stuff. It became really good. Jurassic Park did so incredibly well to fix how dinosaurs are portrayed. They did mess up a few things, but I'll let it slide, like velociraptors, hands, roaring, Dilophosaurs, a bunch of stuff. Venom, frills, whatever. There's tons of stuff that went terribly wrong, but there's stuff that did, like, the good outweighs the bad so much. It is really good. Anyway, now moving on to basically just Prehistoric Planet for the rest of this. First off, David Attenborough, who's the presenter, host, I guess. Just from what I know, he seems so happy doing it. It's really good to see him. Like, he's like 96 or something. I think he's like 90. He might be 98 because I think he's the same age as the Queen. He's in his late 90s. He seems really, really happy making it. It's really good to see that. And now we're gonna next topic. Great, David's overgone. So, Prehistoric Planet had a great soundtrack. It's really good. Some of them are like mid, but most of it's pretty good. Look up the soundtrack, it's great. Apparently they made whole new instruments for it. I don't know how much evidence there is to back this up, because I didn't look at anything. So, yep. But also, one other thing I forgot to add to Rants. So recently, some studies came out saying dinosaurs did not go extinct 65 million years ago, but 66. And it's not because we finally reached an extra million years. It's because our dating has just gotten better. So we've been able to more accurately date when they went extinct. And that's just, we're just better at it now. So the movie 65 with the guy who said the N-word at someone stealing his car or something, you're wrong. No one likes you. Anyway, so I've mentioned in this, I guess, Oliver cast of terror birds and stuff. If you want me to make one about terror birds, smilodons, or saber-toothed cats, and stuff about like that sort of time period, big cats first coming into America, taking over Europe, whatever. If you want me to do that, say so. How do I end